some of the co-ops in here, we come at green or environmental or ecological work as a core value, right? And we've been doing it long before Walmart put up windmills, right? And we know this, but for some co-ops in here, it's not the main focus, and we need to think about how to incorporate this into our messaging if we want to, or into our functioning of our co-op. So, and we need to think more specifically about how it affects our co-ops and what it means for us to be green in our businesses, right? So let's go through the examples here and think of good examples of each of these. Who is doing this well, and what do we think of when we think of green in terms of energy efficiency? So, because we're running out of fuel, peak oil, because fuel causes pollution and climate change. What kind of companies do we think of when we think of green in terms of energy efficiency?
Outside this room, you mean?
Outside this room, doesn't have to be co-ops. Let's just think of the green marketing that's out there.
GE.
You really think GE is?
They market energy efficiency major.
Okay. Who else? BP tries to.
Beyond Petroleum.
Energy Star Mark, and yeah.
Toyota is huge for that.
What was that?
Toyota. That's like their whole marketing.
How about local companies that do it well? Small companies that market themselves well as green in terms of energy efficiency.
Living Earth.
Energy efficiency though?
Oh.
We're doing energy efficiency specifically. Any groups?
Is everything solar still somewhere in that area?
Energy.
Well,
So groups that do direct work with energy.
well, that's the obvious, but are they themselves
Oh, yeah.
energy efficient?
I like Clark and WPI.
You would hope they would be, but
That's been a big part of Stone Soup's promotion, right? We're doing a renovation not of just of the building, but we're trying to do a deep energy retrofit as an
I
example.
saw the whole road, so much trash
What?
We're getting to that. Next is natural.
Huge dumpsters.
Natural in terms of less processed or organic. What do we think of when we think of natural? Some of the large ones, how about?
Adwala?
Yeah.
Right.
I think it worked in math.
there's the folks in Belchertown that produce the cellulose insulation that we blew in at Stone Soup, which is recycled newsprint.
Yeah, those black locust tree. That black locust tree business.
Black locust.
Yeah.
Whoa.
How about non-toxic, less toxic materials? Are there some groups you think of when you think of non-toxic, people promoting themselves as green?
Wages. All their co-ops.
Wages, can you explain wages?
So Wages is a co-op incubator that does a lot of green house cleaning businesses, and they're like the exposure in a normal business is usually to toxic cleaning products, and so they use non-toxic stuff.
How about locally sourced? Why is that green?
Rumsby's Abbey.
Rumsby Abbey, yeah.
And
A lot of small restaurants are doing that now.
so why is
That's the
locally
big-
sourced green?
Well, less transportation of materials and
And then we talked about reuse and recycle, right? That's a pretty obvious one. Ones groups that, so like you were mentioning, the cellulose and recycled materials. How about environmental justice? What is that? How does that come through in some of the groups in the area? And what does that mean to people? There's a lot of EJ people in the room here, but
I hear they do some DJ stuff.
that's what I hear.
Yeah, we're kind of like, I feel like we're separate companies. We don't do a lot of work together, but the regional environmental, we're talking about my thing, but yeah. I feel a little out of the loop sometimes with the EJ stuff. A little more effort.
So food justice,
And
you see as a
environmental.
little separate as environmental justice?
Yeah. We don't, I mean, I guess it's hard because the youth don't really interact with the environmental justice staff, but the food, like Grace, she interacts with the environmental, it's environmental and health justice.
Any other things come to mind for environmental justice or how people define it?
Well, there's a group I've heard of called, that addresses, lead in the soil.
Okay. What do you say more?
So they promote themselves as being concerned about environmental justice, and they tend to be pretty persuasive.
Okay. How about
Take to me.
pollution directly? What groups do we think of when we think of pollution in terms of green around pollution?
Green Drive, right?
Green Drive reducing emissions?
National Grid.
How do they promote themselves as less pollution?
They are trying to get the smart grid going and what have you, and they just opened a sustainability greenwashing center.
The sustainability hub.
Can someone try to explain the idea of greenwashing?
Yeah, they wash their plates.
Brainwashing or green?
Greenwashing.
Oh,
It's the same
green.
thing.
Scott, you wanna-
So greenwashing is usually done by corporate entities that are trying to paint a picture of themselves as environmentally conscious, and the reason it's called greenwashing is because they use it to give them a clean image to make it seem like they're really, environmentally conscious and not polluting the environment.
Like
When
clean
in reality, what's actually happening is they're polluting the environment and
But
pretending like turning off a light switch is gonna be okay.
I thought they were washing their fleet trucks in the green facilities.
It's like the ad I just saw for Chevron Petroleum Company that this isn't exactly greenwashing, but they have this whole ad campaign now that has pictures of like entrepreneurs from countries in Africa that says like, we support all of these local entrepreneurs and our company is supporting local businesses like this woman, and it shows like a woman who's like somehow connected to their petroleum business like locally in Africa.
Or like, when I think of greenwashing, like this is a very basic idea, but like, all the detergents that be like the laundry detergents that say made with natural ingredient, and they'll have like a cool like green bottle, like make it look like, but like they can just literally lie about those things.
So how do we overcome that situation right now? Green is in, green is hip, they're using greenwashing, but we're really doing green stuff, right? So how do we promote that we are and that we're the real green alternative?
Education.
Education. How about being more specific? So I think the next exercise is about us thinking very directly about how we are, what we're doing, and how we can portray that as a more specific, more concrete part of our business that's green, that's worth promoting, that's worth a consumer maybe making a choice to use us over someone else. So let's get into our groups. Think about these questions on the back of the sheet. Right? And we already did the greenwashing one, so let's do in our industry, right? Let's start with our industry and in our co-ops, and let's come up with just a few things that we might want to report back that are key to our co-op and greening promoting our products as green. Right? Break. Just short 4 or 5 minutes on this.